Hi guys and welcome to Bomb Anime.
It's your girl Ruka.
And Big Boy Sama here bringing you another Hot or Not.
Today, Tokyo Revengers is in the hot seat, so let's judge it. Creativity. With the creative side, it was kind of running on empty for me because when they did the jump through time, it just kind of seemed boring, and that's probably because the character in question, Hanagaki, is such a simpy loser. He's such a loser and it was hard to get behind him. He was just a loser, and it wasn't that he was a loser but he had good parts of his personality or anything like that. He was a loser and he strived to be a gang member as well, so it was just like, what the hell? Who am I rooting for? Also, they did miss out the opening, so we didn't get an opening the way we usually get. I mostly like that because usually when there's no opening, it means that I'm getting more content and more bang for my buck, but I didn't actually feel like I did get anything extra.
Yeah guys, you heard it here. Don't be a loser and Ruka will be cool with you. But in terms of...
That's not true.
Okay, be a loser. Okay, but in terms of creativity, I've read this story before. Now, there's this book called The Time Traveler's Wife, which gave me this kind of vibes. And to be honest, I like the way they made you think it's an isekai. Ah, gotcha. It's not really an isekai, it's a time travel story with back and forth. I thought that was pretty creative. The story behind Hanagaki though, I thought was kind of boring, and I want to say borderline, but not even borderline, just creepy altogether. Creepy, 100% creepy. This girl you don't know about for time is the one that you are simping for after you heard she died. It was just fallacious for me. No thank you.
Entertainment. So with the entertainment, at first I thought that he was so worried and scared about fighting because he was older now in his mind, and he now understood more about consequences for your actions and the type of behavior that you're doing. But then it turned out that it was just because he was scared of fighting and that he hadn't had a fight in 10 years. So, I mean, I thought that was a slight missed opportunity to go there and sort of have the juxtaposition with the age gap and what you see life as. I thought that would have been a nice little thing to do, but they didn't do that. What you said about it not holding water,
yeah,
because he didn't remember her, I actually disagree, because I do think, I mean, it's 10 years that have passed. These were the worst years of his life, and he could have some kind of repression there. He doesn't fully remember things, and he was remembering what happened as he got his ass handed to him. I mean, if there was ever a time to remember, it would have definitely been before someone kicked you in the chest and stomped you into the ground. The best time to remember that would be before, so you could evade it. So I feel like we're dealing with some repression, and I think that we could have some extra layers here. Now, the fact that at the very end he traveled back to himself changed everything for me, because I was starting to think that this anime was going to be very one tone, and I wasn't really happy with that. But then they brought it back with him having changed a moment in time, so now we can sort of see that there are significant times or significant moments in time that he can change, and then he will jump back to the future and he'll have to see what happens. It did remind me of The Time Traveler's Wife as well. I hated that movie. It was so boring, and I tried to read the book, but it was also so boring.
The book was sick. What are you talking about? You know what, anywho. Okay, in terms of entertainment for me, I was entertained mildly throughout the whole thing. The comedic effect of him being a loser, always saying sorry, and he is nothing but sorry. I think his boss in the DVD store just smashed it for me in terms of that one line. You're always sorry. Woo! You're nothing but sorry, I think she said. Woo! That was fantastic. Also, the fact that he was about to die and all he could see was this girl's face just made me think you are even more of a loser than I think you are, sort of thing. You know when a joke is so bad that you just start bursting out laughing? That kind of comedy, I got that from that. So it was quite entertaining. It did hold my attention towards the end, and the end was quite a nice bonus in terms of that. And he comes back forward.
Character development. Well, I can say that really no one was developed here apart from Hanagaki. We do have quite a large grasp on who he is as a character. He is pathetic, he apologizes for everything, but the reason for him apologizing for everything is because of how he changed his life by becoming a subordinate of this gang and having to do their bidding, and then he basically ran away from his life, and it looks like he never returned there. So he never revisited any friends he had. He left that behind him. He ran and he tried to make something of his life, but he wasn't really good at anything, it seems. I mean, to be honest, when he was in the store, I thought his boss was just being a bit of a bitch. But then when we saw the flashbacks of all the jobs he had and every single boss is saying you ain't shit, I think that we have to just believe that you ain't shit. So he clearly wasn't really that good at anything, and that was probably because of what he decided to do, his choices while he was at school. Instead of buckling down and trying to get an education and having some goals in life, he decided he wanted to be a delinquent, and then he ran away from that and he had no skills. So I think that the picture that we've got of him is quite a good one. Oh, just a side note about Hanagaki. What kind of piece of shit tells a little child that you're gonna die in 12 years and give him the date and say, hey, remember this date? Like, he didn't actually try to help him in any way. He was just like, just to let you know, you're gonna die, but make sure you protect your sister. Okay, little boy? Like, what the heck? And then that brings me to Naoto. I really like his character, mostly because he's adorable, and also at such a young age, I liked the way when Hanagaki was telling him how to defend himself, he immediately took out a notepad and a pen. It was just cute. I love his resolve and his attitude towards life. He is a very open book. He believed it straight away. He believed what Hanagaki told him straight away, and he did his best to change his own fate and actually did that. Now, I think that's really amazing considering he looks very young. I would put him at what, like maybe 10 years old? He looks very young, and for him to actually do that is pretty amazing. He seems like the more interesting character to me, more than Hanagaki is. He actually tracked Hanagaki down to stop him from dying because he remembered that little bit as well and saved his life so that he could change the future again.
I have to agree with you, not your first part about that trash piece of loser guy, but about Naoto. Like, for me, he is the star of this episode for me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like through conjecture, the authors made sure that we completely had our imaginations take us through the creative development so that they didn't have to. I'm not saying they were lazy about it. I'm just saying that we did most of the work in our head because we were given the beginning and the end, and it was our jobs to fill in the middle. And so therefore we have given him such great aspirations. Like, we don't know what hardships he went through in order to become police chief. We don't know what kind of politics. We don't even know if he's corrupt like most of the police chiefs that were given in fiction art. We are just painting this nice, awesome, wholesome picture because we were given the beginning and the end. Yeah. And I think it was a beautiful stroke of doing character development both ways, because obviously thus saying that as well, like, I feel like the authors are going too hard in trying to paint this loser. He's such a loser, I almost forgot his name.
Hanagaki.
That's it.
Do you know why? Because it reminds me of Hanagaki from
Hanabado. Yeah. So like, Hanagaki is such a loser that the author literally slapped it in your face the whole way through. Like, through this character development, they made sure you knew this guy ain't shit. And the fact that he is like that is probably a way to make sure that when he rises later on in the show, we feel that sense of growth or whatever.
Yeah.
But for example, he's been given this power of time travel. He's sorted out this situation. And as you said, who tells a little kid, oh yeah, by the way, you're gonna die, your sister's gonna die, I'm gonna die. Toodles. Like, it's like, it was a bit...
Nice meeting you.
It was a bit deep, but I kind of see where they're going with it. I just hope they don't bring him too low for us to hate him. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's on the verge right now. They salvaged it at the end with the twists and whatever.
World building. I really hope that they are going to address who pushed him. It was one person in particular that pushed him off the train. Either that was who pushed him off the train, or that was Naoto trying to grab him before he was pushed off the train. So back to the world building. Yes, they did show us that he wasn't anything. They had the nudie magazine stacked. Who needs that many magazines? Last I checked, we have the internet. And there are loads of sites that you can go to. Who needs that many magazines?
What, Ruka?
Who needs that many? It's not the 70s.
You know about these sites, yeah?
So, back to the world
Ruka,
building.
Man. Wait,
so
whoa.
they were set. So, what I was saying.
Whoa, Ruka, man.
No.
What you know about these sites, though, man?
Like I was saying, I've lost my train of thought. But the world is a world, isn't it? I think that what we really need to think about here is not about the internet, but we need to think about in what kind of world can he try time travel and what are the rules to his traveling. We saw that once he changed something major in the storyline, he was basically ported back, I guess, to his present. So we kind of know what will send him back, but we don't actually understand what will send him there. He didn't get hit by the train, so it wasn't a near-death experience. Maybe if he's scared that he's going to die, that will send him into the future, and whatever is on his mind is what he'll be sent to fix. I would really like to know the rules of the world.
World building was a weird one because it felt so real. The art style is fantastic. It looks real enough. And then you were thrown into this weird situation that is completely not real, but the reactions were real. And him being like, for example, he's a middle schooler with dyed blonde hair. Where are the parents? Like, what's going on? He knocked on his girlfriend's door, who's also a middle schooler, and the mum and dad didn't come out because it was so late in the evening. Yeah, go on.
Both Hinata and Naoto were killed by this same gang that he's involved in, that Hanagaki was involved in. Usually gangs have a familial bond, so perhaps the parents are gang members, and the reason why Naoto and Hinata ended up in this predicament is because their parents are involved in the gang, therefore you're involved in a gang. It doesn't matter whether you actually are. And we can see Naoto decided that what he could do to protect his sister would be become a police officer.
I mean, like, okay, you make a good hypothesis, and obviously we're going to find out when we binge it. But what I'm saying is that there's certain things that are weird here, like there's people getting beaten up and no police are called. There's not a lot of adults in this situation. I'm just saying the world isn't built quite realistically until he's in the present. In the present, you see loads of people. You see loads of people taking trains, people, you know, moving around and stuff. But in the past, it seems very sparse. And I don't know if that was deliberate or not, but it's something I just noticed.
Plot execution. I mean, the plot is basically his only girlfriend that he's ever had dies, and he ends up in the future somehow, in the past somehow, and he wants to change the future. They've really showed us that in episode 1, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get that kind of vibe throughout as well. He's going to be going backwards and forwards. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say on the plot execution.
I don't know what goes through an author's head to make sure that your main character is in love with someone they haven't seen for so long, and that be the last person on their mind because they saw a news article on the moment of their death. Maybe that last bit could make sense because, you know, it's fresh on your mind, but how you so in love that that's all you see? You don't see your family, you don't see nothing else when you're about to die? I don't know. And also, like, the whole thing screamed problematic for me for the first half. You want to go and see her. She's the only girlfriend you have. If only I had a girlfriend, my life would be better. All of those kind of statements just made me feel like, yo, bro, there's more to the world than girls, you know. Like you said, you should have got an education and become a better person. And if you know that you're so sorry for yourself, don't you try and change it. He was sent into the past, and what did he only change? Scaring the living days out of a little kid and telling them that they're going to die on a specific date with their sister. Do you get what I mean?
That's unfair. That's massively unfair.
It felt a bit. I'm just saying, that's the plot I got. Okay, like you got your plot, I got my plot, innit?
No, I'm just saying he was only there for a few hours. Like,
well,
and
you know,
what were you expected him to do?
He could have ran away from getting beat up. He
only remembered as he was getting
I'm just
beat.
saying, there's things that could have been done in it, and I just feel like they've taken it a weird route. Now, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's just weird to me, innit?
To the verdict. Creativity, hot or not?
Okay, I've seen this story only once before, so I'm gonna give it a hot because, to be honest, it looks like it's got legs and it can go somewhere better than the last time I saw the story.
I'm also going to give it a hot, although I was a bit on the fence. I'm going to give it a hot. I thought that they did a good job and they gave us a nice twist. They gave me a few twists. Not all of them were good, but this one definitely was with the time travel. Entertainment, hot or not?
I was entertained. Like, it actually kept my attention. Like, there were some bits I was just going, oh god, like really. But other than that, yeah, you know what? It was hot. I did watch it, and I do want to see episode 2.
I'm also going to give it a hot for the entertainment, although some bits were, you know, not too great. Overall, I think they did a good job. Character development, hot or not?
Even though they had really good points, I don't think they did a good enough job for us to get into the heads of the characters that they presented to us. Now, it is only episode 1, so they could develop it further, but unfortunately for me, it's not.
I'm going to give this one a hot as well. I think that they introduced us to, I feel, almost all of the characters that we're going to see in this anime, and they also gave us a feel for everyone kind of briefly, and they went into deeper detail with Hanagaki and Naoto, who I think are going to be the main 2 characters of this whole thing. I think they did a good job. So, world building, hot or not?
I think the world building actually helps with the plot, and it helps with the actual story going forward, and they did a good job from that aspect, so I can't begrudge them. They have to get a hot.
I'm also going to give world building a hot. I'm not sure if I'm doing it on anticipation of the rest of the world building being good for the rest of the season, because I feel like they put the building blocks there, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a hot. And plot execution, hot or not?
See, this one is the proper knife edge for me. They did the plot, and they've made me want to look at the next episode, but there was too many niggling things. I don't know if, you know what, I'll give it a hot.
For me, I will have to give this one a not. It was just a little bit off. It wasn't, they didn't do enough, I didn't think, and I feel like I didn't get anything extra from the plot that I didn't get from the trailer. So if I can watch the trailer, and basically I could miss out episode 1 really. So I just don't think that they did enough there. Sorry. So Big Boy Sama has given it a hot for 4 out of 5 categories, and I've also given it a hot for 4 out of 5 categories, but we differ on the ones that we think are not. So let us know what you think in the comments. Have you watched the first episode of Tokyo Revengers? What did you think of it? Try not to spoil it if you've watched ahead, because we will be binging this.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Peace.